Hi, everyone. I am Rebecca Nadelka, your Realtor Mom. Welcome back to the podcast. Today, we're going to do something a little bit different, have some fun, and we are going to bust some of the biggest myths with homeowners insurance. And who better than to do this with than my guest, Leigh Clements from Leskosky Agency. So, Leigh, we're going to talk about some of those myths and things that homeowners, buyers, sellers might think about insurance. We're going to make her smack her head, some of the things that we think might be true. So one of the things is I hear a lot of homeowners say to me is, oh my God, my insurance doesn't cover that? Doesn't cover everything that some of us think that it does. Yeah. So Leigh, let's start with this one.
Okay.
If something happens and all the electronics in my house get damaged, is my insurance going to cover that?
So it's going to depend on two things. One, if it's an electrical thing, if their house is hit by lightning, then yes, it will be covered. However, typically they are not covered because they have to be endorsed as a scheduled personal property, inland marine, or just have a special endorsement for electronics.
So when my daughter accidentally drops her cell phone in the toilet,
no.
My insurance isn't covering that,
cover
even though my phone is like $1,000?
Unless you have intentionally endorsed it, it will not be covered. Yeah.
So what would a homeowner need to do to get, how would we intentionally endorse those?
So you would do a scheduled personal property endorsement. So that would be a line item per big ticket item. And it really needs to be a big ticket. While $1,000 is a lot of money, it's not necessarily considered a big ticket for electronics. So I would say anything over $5,000. So be prepared.
Okay.
When buying those electronics, your homeowner's insurance will cover the depreciated value of it. So if something is damaged or stolen at the time, then they will pay the depreciation value of it. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So kind of like my car, when it drives off the lot, it's not worth that anymore.
Right, exactly.
Amazing how those things work.
It's amazing.
The depreciation.
It's very tricky. They get you on the lot and then send you on your way, right?
Okay.
But, yeah.
So that's how it works with our electronics.
Electronics.
Who knew?
Yes.
Leigh did. All right. What about this one? I live in an HOA, and obviously my HOA has insurance. Mm-hmm. So I'm covered, right?
You're not.
Oh.
So HOAs are really kind of tricky. And if you do have an HOA, it's really important to read all the fine print in your HOA, because HOA for a homeowner can be very different than a condo. Even a townhome is very different. So HOA for homes are going to be probably maintenance, the general public spaces, right?
Right.
So that's not going to cover anything in your home because you own the land and your house.
Okay.
If your HOA for your condo, they cover everything outside. So the grounds, the public spaces, your roof, your siding, things like that, the HOA is responsible for. And in condo, you pay your insurance from the drywall in.
Okay.
So everything drywall in is covered in is homeowner's responsibility. HOA is everybody else. If you own a townhome, you pretty much pay for everything, and the HOA is just public spaces also. And then if you have like a roof replacement, then they assess all the homeowners to pay for it.
Okay.
So if it costs $20,000, each homeowner might get assessed a couple $1,000s depending how many units there are in that.
Wow.
So you really have to know what your HOA covers and what it doesn't cover.
Now I know, obviously in real estate, I've sold several condos. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that we get questioned, and buyers should always question, is what does the HOA cover? And I've seen them called condos and they say that the owner has to pay for the roof or the siding or the exterior. Yep. What about windows?
Windows are homeowners' responsibility.
So even though they're partially inside, partially outside, they are homeowners. They are
homeowners' responsibility.
So if it's an HOA and it's called a condo, but the owner pays for the roof, is that then technically not a condo and it's a townhome?
Correct.
Interesting.
Correct.
Okay, I
So
did not know that.
It's in the fine print of an HOA description. So I know even as I look for a condo or a townhome, I'm always asking for the HOAs to know what really is covered in writing versus just what someone might tell me is covered. So
as a
super
buyer,
important.
that is something that's very important to know when you are looking at a condo or a townhome. Read those HOA documents, know what you're going to be responsible for as the new owner of that property.
Right.
Because even if it's something where the HOA covers it, but it gets assessed to all the homeowners, you might be coming a couple $1,000s out of pocket
Right.
when it's time to replace a roof. So knowing those things is super important, and having that conversation with your insurance agent when it's time to cover is obviously something that we all need to do.
And I always ask to see the HOA when someone calls in for either a condo or a townhome. I ask them to send it to me just so that I can verify, because I don't want it to come back on me or them. I want the owner to be covered completely. So
perfect.
Important to know what you're getting into.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what about this one? I bought a home warranty and I have homeowners insurance. Those are the same things. Do I need both?
No, they're totally different. Totally different. Such a great myth that a lot of people do get stuck in. So homeowners insurance covers unexpected damage to things in your home. And so it will cover things like fire, theft, things like that is what your home insurance will cover. Home warranty covers the normal wear and tear of appliances or systems within your home. And home warranty is kind of like a maintenance plan, whereas home insurance is not maintenance. It's for unexpected events.
So there is some overlap with regards to like the roof, because your home warranty can cover certain things with your roof, where your insurance would also, I'm assuming you're not like double hitting it as a buyer or a seller, like whatever homeowner you might be, you're not going to get it from both, but there's a little bit of coverage with the home warranty.
If it specifically states that, right? Sometimes I think warranties will state what they cover.
Right.
Roofs are kind of tricky these days, you know?
I mean, we had a storm. I automatically get a new roof, right?
No, unfortunately not. But it just depends how much damage is done and how much of the roof is damaged, or, you know, what part needs to be replaced and if they can match it. So Ohio has this law that they must match everything. So it has to look uniform across the roof if there is replacement done. So that's the nice thing about Ohio, is that they do have that replacement law or uniformity law.
That's good. So there is obviously, and I say it jokingly because we have the ambulance chasers of roofs.
Yes, they're
that
out there.
Automatically can get, we had a big storm and now we're going to get you a new roof.
Right.
There are situations though where weather damage can warrant a new roof with your homeowners.
Definitely.
Do you need specific coverage for that? Is it part of your basic plan? Like if a buyer were going to buy their property and want to make sure that their roof is covered in the event of a natural disaster,
you can buy an extended coverage replacement for both siding and roofing. Yes, so that's an extra endorsement added on many insurance policies. It's a couple dollars here and there. It's really not a lot, but roofs are particular with carriers these days. It's all about the age of the roof. So know what the age of your roof is and if it will be replacement cost or actual cash value.
Okay, because that's been a big thing for me as an agent now when looking at houses with buyers, as well as going through a listing with a seller. I don't want to call it a myth because it's new, but like the rumor has it that if a house has a roof 15 years or older, which technically is like 50% of life left, under normal circumstances, I would say that's not bad. You've got some time. It's not going to be an immediate replacement. But I'm hearing that homeowners aren't able to get covered on a 15-year-old roof. And to me, that's insane.
Well, they just pay a higher premium to get it covered, and it goes from replacement value to actual cash value. So they depreciate. So it's like anything, right? Your cars, your homes, your electronics, everything depreciates once you buy it. So there is a certain schedule which the roof will depreciate over time, and the insurance will cover it a percentage of that total amount. or you can buy the extra endorsement to have full replacement of your
Gotcha.
roof.
So this is one thing for my buyers and sellers alike. I would say if your roof is 15 years old, contact someone like Leigh. Contact Leigh, really, and find out what you should do with regards to your insurance, because you want to make sure that you have the appropriate coverage.
Right.
Insurance is probably not the place to go cheap.
No.
When
never.
you're buying even $100,000 house, $400,000 house, whatever it is, it's a big ticket item.
It is.
Insure it the right way.
Definitely.
So this is probably one of my favorite myths, that
Can't wait.
if I'm having some people over my house and my friends here and they fall and get hurt, that's not my problem, right? Help. What do I do? Like, am I going to have to take care of the person that just fell in my yard?
You are, in many ways.
Oh.
In many ways you will. So as homeowners, we have a duty of care to any guest that comes into our home. And so unless you are completely negligent, like a deck railing is rotted out and you just haven't taken care of it, general maintenance, then and if they can prove that, then you're off the hook. However, that's why you have liability. And liability on a homeowner's insurance is one of the most important things to have, because you never know what's going to happen. And so it's good to
Is that standard for most policies?
It's standard in our agency.
Okay.
I would say it comes in different values. We go for $500,000 every single time. So every homeowner that we insure usually gets $500,000. $300,000 if someone is buying a condo, or is in their 20s and it's their first, right? They don't have a lot of value or net worth, I guess. So
so if I don't have the right coverage and someone gets hurt, they might be able to get my house.
they could. So
we worked hard for the house. Don't let that happen.
Don't let it happen. You and your realtor worked really hard to get you in that home. So it's important to have a good amount of coverage, and $500,000 is pretty much our standard go-to.
Wow. That's kind of crazy when you think about it. Like, obviously one of the most important things is making sure that your policy, you understand your policy. So when you take out your insurance policy, have the conversation with your agent to make sure that you're fully covered the way that you should be. And if they tell you that this is optional, you don't really need it, they know what they're talking about. I know, like when I did my insurance for the office here, there were certain things you said, you don't need this. So like being able to trust what I need versus what I don't need is super helpful. And having that agent that can help you navigate the myths that we all think we know about insurance is super helpful.
It is. It is. Definitely having an agent will help you sort through all of it.
Gotcha. So I want to kind of move away from the myths and start talking about some of the options that we have when we sign up and take out our new insurance policy.
Your a la carte items?
Yes. So what are some of the options that you think are important that homeowners, or let's be honest, their agent might not know? I'm not an insurance agent, so I don't know all the things, but I'm going to make sure that my clients are directed to somebody who does. So can you maybe tell us some of those options that homeowners don't even know exist that might be helpful?
Sure. I think the number one item on there is sewer and drain backup. People in Northeast Ohio, really anywhere, must have sewer and drain backup. And it covers anything that's going to come up through the drains. It doesn't cover flood, right? That's not a standard option on any policy here in Ohio. But you want to make sure anything that comes up through the drains is going to be covered. It helps you clean up, replace, repair any damage that is done from the water or sewage that comes up.
It's going to make you probably not want to be in your house if that happens.
Exactly.
Because that can't smell very fantastic.
No. And I've had it happen 4 times in my home.
Oh.
So it's just been water, fortunately. But still, it's definitely a necessity to have. And I would say $10,000 minimum is required for sewer and drain coverage.
Okay.
So again, it's a couple of dollars. So it's not going to break your bank, but it's a necessity.
I'm thinking I should probably double check my policy, because that is something that I would want to make sure that I have.
Definitely.
Because it can. And that's another thing as an agent, that's now why a sewer and drain inspection is often advised. Make sure that the pipes that lead to the road are clear.
Yeah.
That way you know that you're at least good. Now, something can still happen and having the coverage helps, but having that inspection to know is also a benefit to a homeowner.
It really is, because it goes in line with the service line.
That was my next
Also,
question.
Yep. Service line is also really important, and that's all the lines that run underneath your home that you may not even know of, and that will take care of like tree roots growing into your drains, which happened at my home. So that was important.
I feel like that happens quite a bit.
It does. And with the water, the amount of rain that we get here in Northeast Ohio, it's important because it can come fast and you can't keep up.
So why are service lines not talked about more? Because I feel like that's not something that we often, does that include like gas and electric, or is that just because I know every now and then I'll get something in the mail asking if I want my gas line to be covered to the road.
Yeah, no. Homeowners insurance, you can endorse it so easily on your homeowners insurance and not have to pay that extra fee to that utility company. You can do that, I suppose, if you would like extra padding, but your homeowners insurance will definitely cover service, electrical, gas, sewer, water. So make sure that those service line box is checked. It's a quick, easy check. And again, that's probably about a $10,000, $10,000 to $25,000 line.
That's definitely helpful. And I know like it's the cost is minimal, and yeah, the costs add up, but imagine the costs without these coverages.
Oh yeah.
They can go through the roof, like a sewage backup, or if something happens with your gas line and now they're going to trench your yard, dig up, whatever they've got to do.
Through your house, right? Because it's under your home typically. So that can be a real big mess. So better to have a couple dollars a month.
What about equipment breakdown? It seems like everything breaks at the worst possible time.
And all at the same time, right?
Right?
Yep.
So what about equipment breakdown? Is there a coverage for that?
Yes.
And like what's covered?
So your appliances or any home systems would be covered if there is a mechanical or electrical breakdown. They are not covered for normal wear and tear. And that is one of the big myths that comes with buying homes or not understanding your homeowner's insurance policy, is that it's not wear and tear. That's on the homeowner to take care of those things. But if your house is hit by lightning, or there's a mechanical breakdown of your dishwasher or your anything in your house, refrigerator, equipment breakdown will pay to replace or repair it.
Gotcha. Okay. So that's another good one. Now, we might have some of that coverage with a home warranty because appliances are covered.
Yep.
So you just want to make sure that these are things that as you buy a policy or you get a home warranty, you want to figure out how they intermix and what makes the most sense for you as a homeowner.
Right. And knowing the difference then too between warranty and insurance, right? Warranty is wear and tear.
Right.
So if something is wearing out, then your home warranty might cover it versus home insurance is mechanical or electrical breakdown.
That makes sense. That makes sense. So we kind of touched on this, I think, a little bit when you mentioned the Ohio's law with the matching the siding. So every now and then I drive by a house and I see some mismatched siding where it looks like they did a quick repair.
Yep.
No thanks. I could want my house to look like it is supposed to and everything matches.
Yep.
Is there a coverage for stuff like that?
There is. There's the matching law or the matching endorsement for roof and siding. Super important. Not used a lot. I would say it is not chosen a lot. We offer it to our clients, but they oftentimes opt out of it. So that's probably why you're seeing them.
Okay.
And Ohio law is that they are required to make it matching, but sometimes agents don't endorse it, don't encourage it, don't know how to sell it correctly so that it is a valuable item on that policy.
I think probably, and I know this was the case for me. So when I initially bought my house, I didn't really have like a great conversation when I took out my insurance policy because, just get me what I need. So knowing and actually setting up time to have a conversation to talk about the different things. Not every person in sales is just trying to sell you on everything.
Right.
What you really need and what you really should have in your biggest investment of your home warrants a conversation with a trusted real insurance agent. Just as you use a trusted realtor for your purchase, you want to have a trusted agent to handle your insurance. And having those conversations is something that really, I know I'm learning a lot today hearing these things, and I'm like, And I'm sitting here scratching my head. Do I have that coverage? I think we're going to need to take a look as I keep putting it off, but I need you to look at my personal policy. So
Happy to do it.
one of the things that I've heard recently is a green update coverage. Can you tell us what that actually is?
Yeah, I can. It's not very popular right now. I mean, it is and it isn't. It goes.
Is that like painting your house green?
No. We're not going to have a mint chocolate chip house like on the street. No, it helps cover the cost of repairing or replacing things in your home to become eco-friendly. So that's what it is. So if you have an old HVAC unit and you want to make it high efficiency, then that would be covered under that. Honestly, it's not on a lot of carriers. I haven't seen it a lot. I mean, I would have to dig through to find it. So it's not something that we normally endorse.
It's not necessarily needed.
It's
not
not
like
needed.
some of these other coverages we've discussed.
Correct.
But it's there.
It's a choice. That one is a choice. So not necessarily required.
So one of the segments that I always have to do is our tough love.
Oh boy.
And
I can be tough.
Leigh can be tough. We know Leigh can be tough. And we want that. We want to know the tough love because we want the tough love sets our clients up for the best case situation. So
Right.
sometimes we just got to hear the tough love.
Right.
So what is one thing that you want homeowners to stop believing?
Insurance is not a maintenance plan. It just isn't there to cover things that you neglect to care for, make sure are updated, up to speed, up to code. That's not part of a homeowner's insurance. That's warranty. So stop thinking that we're going to just replace everything. If a shingle flies off, we're not going to replace a whole roof, right? We're going to do our best to make sure that you get a shingle that matches. And if it can't be matched, then that's another conversation. But don't assume that just because one thing breaks down, we replace the whole thing.
Right. And also keep in mind, if you're like, this is my personal, and I may be off the wall, but if you call to get that one shingle replaced, you probably just filed a claim.
Yes.
And along the line, somewhere, you're going to pay for that in an increased premium.
Yes.
So don't just think insurance is what we're using to get everything replaced. Like you said,
Right.
that just doesn't make sense.
doesn't.
You have to make sure you've got a deductible. One shingle is probably not going to cost
A whole lot of money.
Yeah. So that's some good tough love
It
there.
is.
Like,
and that's when you trust your insurance agent to know the right roofer to call, because that's the other part of it. As agents, we know everybody in the business who to send our clients to.
right.
So I can send you to the right roofer who can get you a shingle that's probably going to match or pretty close that you're not going to see it glaring from the street.
Right.
So,
Right.
Right.
Okay. What's a coverage that everyone should have but doesn't?
Extended value. That is by far our number one thing is the extended value. So for example, you buy $100,000 house, right? You're going to be insured if you do full replacement cost, you're going to be insured the cost to rebuild that home. And that's not market value, it's not anything else, it's the cost to rebuild it. But with extended value, we always add 25%. So you'll get an extra $25,000 on top of your 100 to rebuild your home. Gotcha. And with the rate of things increasing, the cost of things, the cost of labor, the cost of lumber, brick, whatever your home might be, you always want to have that little bit of a cushion to fall back on.
I will say that was one of the things that I didn't know. And when I didn't, this was like a long time ago, before I even knew you, and the agent said, well, your replacement value is, I don't know, $500,000. I'm like, whoa, my house isn't worth $500,000. What are you trying to scam me with here? But really what they were doing was
cost to rebuild.
The cost to rebuild. And so I argued with this agent, and we know me, I can argue, right? So I argued with him. I said, that is not the value of my house. And I think I convinced him to drop it down. So thank God nothing happened to my house.
Okay, well, let's take a look at that then, Becky.
I think that was a long time ago.
Okay,
so
good.
I'm thinking that I'm good now.
Yeah.
But we do want to look at it, because I do, if God forbid, something happens to my
Sure.
house,
Anything.
I want the replacement coverage to be there. I'm not going to have $100,000 out of pocket.
No.
Because I would have a heart attack, probably.
No need for that.
All right. So on the flip of that, now we know what we really need.
Mm-hmm.
There's got to be coverage that you think homeowners buy that's kind of pointless. There's got to be something.
You know, I mean, I think that's such a personal thing too, right? If someone's really adamant that they want XYZ, I'll give it to them. I'm not going to say, no, don't do it, because then it'll only come back to me.
Sure.
You know, I'm probably less inclined to do the eco-friendly, the green one.
Right.
The green, that's probably the lowest on my radar right
Gotcha.
now. But some people are super conscientious about that, and if they want it, I'll add it.
Right. Sure,
right?
sure. But it's
not a
not
must.
like something that you're going to be, oh my gosh, if I don't have this.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
New homeowner, first time home buyer. What would be the message that you would want to give them if they're assuming that their insurance policy just covers everything?
I just want to shake my head.
This is where we smack
we
it
smack
and they're
it.
like, what?
Know your policy. I mean, you might be young and you might be first time home buyers, but just know what's in your insurance premium. Make sure you know what's covered, and make sure, more importantly, you know what isn't covered. Oftentimes people know what is covered, but then it's the little hidden things that might not be covered. If you opt to not do sewer and drain, then you're going to be out $5,000 to get someone to come out, Puro Clean, for example, to come clean up your mess. So just know what you have in your policy. Don't just trust your agent for sure, but also know your agent. Know that you can really trust that person, and know your policy. That's really key.
Yeah. And making sure that you have that trusted professional in every situation when you're dealing with your home.
Yeah.
I feel sometimes like we say it all the time, but this is most likely your largest investment.
Mm-hmm.
So treat it like that.
Yeah.
And make sure that the people that you're trusting are people that you truly can trust to get the process done, and make sure that you have the right home, the right coverage, and all those things that you need. So if something catastrophic happens, you're covered.
Right.
So,
and know that you can call your agent. That's the other thing too, is knowing your agent, trusting them. And then when something does happen, you call them, and they are the calmness, the steadiness that gets you through that horrific event or whatever it might be, because it can be frightening and daunting when something big happens in your home.
Being an adult owning a home is absolutely frightening. So when you're doing those things, make sure you have the guidance that you need, because we want to look like we're adults and we know what we're doing. Like, lean on the people that really know.
Right.
So, well, Leigh, obviously, thank you so much for coming back. It's always great to have your expertise. You make everything sound simple. So if you're a homeowner and you just don't know what your insurance is covering, talk to your insurance agent. Call Leigh. She is phenomenal and will walk you through each and every part of your policy to make sure that you are covered, and Leigh will explain it, and she's not going to judge you. She's going to really genuinely help you through it. It doesn't have to be overwhelming. We'll make this process simple. We'll keep it smooth, and we will get it sold. So I am Rebecca Nadelka, your Realtor Mom with eXp Realty. And again, simple, smooth, and sold.
Thanks,
Thank
Becky.
you, Leigh.
Thank you.